Hey everyone, I've got some great news. ARK is coming back to my channel. Yes, it's finally coming back. So this video is a little bit of a mod spotlight for one of ARK's sponsored mods, Alemia. And we're going to be starting a brand new series on this mod next week, and I'm really excited to bring this to you guys. You can see some footage on the screen now. These are from several trailers that were made from the Alemia mod. So if you're interested in taking a proper look at them, I've added the links to the videos in the description below, along with the mod link to the Steam Workshop. So you can check that out at your own pleasure. So from what I know, I've done a little bit of research, but not too much. Alemia is designed to be a more challenging, more hardcore game than the default ARK. And it's designed to have a much longer progression and a very different progression from normal ARK. This mod, which is both a map and mod that go together, they can't be separated, it reworks a lot of how ARK actually works. So for example, this dossier is the Alemia tooltip. This was found on the Steam Workshop for the mod. So we've got some basic information up here about this mod and the changes that it makes to ARK. So no flyers. Now this is a big one because in the ARK community, some people love not having flyers, some people hate not having flyers. So this is a big one, but I actually am looking forward to not having flyers so that it's keeps you on the ground a bit more, makes it a bit difficult to travel around the map so easily. Also the map, I don't know how old this dossier is. I don't know if it's from last year or if it's more recent, and how much may have changed in the mod from when this was created, but approximately 5% water and 95% land, so a very much a land map. Now it says here 12 jobs, so I don't really know much about this aspect of it yet, but there is a job system, which I think is pretty cool. So you, as a survivor, you can pick a different type of job, and you will have some sort of a skill set around that or something. Like if I'm getting any of this wrong, because obviously I don't know everything that I'm talking about, please do let me know in the comments below. But from what I can tell, you can have certain skilled jobs like farming, cooking, that sort of thing, and there's 12 jobs in total. I don't know what they all are, but I don't think there's any penalty between switching your survivor from one job to the other. So if you are playing solo like myself, I do believe that you can still do all of the jobs as a solo player. You just have to switch between them from time to time. Harvesting. Now this is quite a big change in harvesting. This also goes with the tiers of the tools. So really, harvesting has been reworked to a large degree. For example, you have a pick for farming rocks. You can't use an axe for rocks. You can use an axe for trees. So they've got specific different uses. But not only that, there's different tiers of the tools as well. So for example, if you're chopping down trees, you've got an axe. If you've got a very low tier axe, it's going to be able to chop down small trees. But I believe if you want to chop down the larger trees, the bigger trees, then you have to get a higher tier axe. So this is all adding to the progression. It's extending the progression to be a lot more structured and slow down the progression in the game, so you're not getting to the end game content so quickly like you can in the normal ARK. Also less berries. So this is designed, I believe, to focus more on farming, not farming as in going out and collecting resources, but farming as in growing. So you're not necessarily going to be able to just go out there and pick berries from bushes. I think some berries will still be out there in bushes, but they're not going to be in one bush and you can collect lots of different berries like you can in ARK. At the moment, this is going to be like Tinto berries might have its own bush. They might be specific to different biomes, etc. So it's going to be a lot more uncommon to get those berries. Creatures. Now this is another big change. So there's going to be babies, I think, juveniles and stuff wandering around on the map as well. They're going to be protected by their adults and their own kind, and this makes a big change to taming in this mod. You can't just go out, knock out any creature and then start taming it by feeding it. There's none of that, and there's no aggressive taming. What you have to do, from what I understand, is you can only tame the babies, and the babies will, I think, always spawn at level 10. This might be something that you can change in the settings yourself if you're running it on a server, but you can only tame the babies. But of course there's going to be adults around the babies as well, so it's not literally you can just go up to it and tame it. So there is going to be some difficulty there, I believe, but it does rework the taming, and I think they're all level 10, so you're not going to be taming massively strong creatures. Again, this is about extending the progression, making it a bit more of a challenge, a bit more hardcore, but still a fun experience. So exploration, 17 biomes. Now I'm not sure if this is out of date. The Steam Workshop page I think says 16, so I'm not sure if there's 16 or 17, but there's quite a lot of biomes. It does say here that each has a positive buff, but some of them have negative buffs as well, to make exploration much more difficult. I don't know what those positive and negative buffs are, but we will find out when I start playing. Now this is another big change, the dungeon system. So in Alemia there are no endgame bosses, so there's not like a Megapithecus, a Brood Mother or Dragon boss to fight at endgame, but there are bosses at the end of each dungeon. So there's a number of dungeons, I'm not sure how many there are, but I think there's quite a few. From what I've seen, they are very interesting. You can get through the dungeons, I believe, as a solo player. Obviously, I think quite a lot of it is designed for group play, but you can, I've been told, successfully do it as a solo player. But obviously it will be a significantly higher challenge to be able to do that. But there are quite a few dungeon systems, so that is something that I think is probably going to be really interesting to experience. And then last but not least, building. So there's new structure tier, there's a medieval structure tier. Now get this, guys, there's no tech, there's no industrial tier, and there's no gunpowder. There's no guns in this mod. There is no guns. So again, with having no tech, not even any industrial tier, and no guns, this again is going to really slow down the progression and make it a lot more of a challenge. It's going to be, I believe, a lot more primitive. Whether that means there's going to be different tiers of like bow and arrow and stuff, I don't know at the moment. Presumably they still have crossbow and things like that, but I think there's going to be new tools, possibly weapons, that are created specifically for Alemia. So that's really interesting. And from what I've read on the Steam Workshop, the difficulty of the map is set to difficulty 5, but wild creatures can range from level 10 to 350. So I don't know if like the 350 is specific to the dungeon system spawns, or whether it's going to be 350 out in the wild. If you've played this already and you know, please let me know in the comments below. But if they are out in the wild, this is going to be a pretty big challenge. So this really changes how ARK works, and a huge progression mechanic to the game, which is something I'm really looking forward to, and I'm hoping that you're going to enjoy it too. Now guys, those of you that have played ARK, I'm sure you know what it feels like to have played for a long time and then start a new survivor from scratch, spawning on the beach, to experience that beginning all over again, and how good it feels to just experience that. Well, after doing that so many times, you can get to the point where you know so much and you're so experienced in ARK that it doesn't take you long to go from 0 to hero. And this is why I'm really excited to be playing Alemia, because I've got to that point, and not only is starting on Alemia starting from scratch, there's also lots of new things to learn and different ways to survive. So I'm hoping you're going to enjoy it too. I'm really looking forward to the experience, and I definitely feel like it's going to be something very new that I haven't experienced before in ARK. Right, so before I end the video, this mod is actually a sponsored mod, so you can find it on the survivetheark.com website. I've linked it in the description below, and this is a massive spotlight for the mod developers. Of course, it's only for the Steam version of the game, but you never know with ARK. We have had mods and maps in the sponsored mod program become official, which means they've come to all platforms before, including Xbox and PlayStation. So there's always a chance, but for now it is only the Steam version of the game, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm sure I haven't done Alemia justice in the spotlight. I'm sure there is so much more to it, and we'll be experiencing that right here next week. And guys, if any of you have played Alemia before, as I've said, let me know in the comments below. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.